Mary Winslow, 1774 to 1854. Mary Forbes Winslow grew up in a wealthy family, surrounded by every comfort she desired. She was born in Bermuda in 1774, the only child of Dr. and Mrs. George Forbes. In 1791, at age 17, she married Lieutenant Thomas Winslow, a British soldier of the 47th Regiment, who was temporarily based on the island. After her wedding, Mary attended a ball at which she was the center of attention as the young bride. For most of the evening, all eyes seemed to be fixed on her. She felt that she had it all. But later that night, the emptiness of a life that lacks nothing filled her heart. As she remembered the evening, it seemed she had everything she wanted. She sighed and whispered to herself, "Is this all?" She knew that there had to be more to life than the transient pleasures she had just experienced. In Thomas's hometown of Romford, England, where the new couple made their home, God began to bring Mary under the conviction of sin. Despite the outward comforts of her lifestyle, she began reading the Bible. She had known virtually nothing about the gospel except that a sinner could be saved. At first, she tried to seek salvation through her good works, which made her sink deeper into misery. Her husband wanted to relieve her distress, but not knowing the cause, he guessed it was loneliness. So he rented a house in Pentonville in North London, where he thought Mary would be cheered by the company and busier atmosphere of the city. Thomas did not know that in this relocation, God was setting a plan in motion to save Mary's soul. Mary began attending services at the Chapel of St. James, Pentonville Chapel, in North London, but there was nothing in the preaching to satisfy her soul. In God's providence, however, a new minister was soon appointed. Reverend Thomas Shepard vividly communicated the experience of the Christian life through his own character and through his doctrinally sound gospel preaching. God worked through Shepard's ministry to direct Mary away from a works righteousness mentality. She began searching the scriptures to see whether it was true that God justified sinners by grace alone through faith in Christ. One evening, when anxiously searching her Bible, Mary was brought to meditate on Jesus' promise in Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, "Ask and it shall be given you." She fell on her knees and asked Jesus how such a wretched sinner as she could be saved. She received no answer, so she returned to her Bible, still searching for the answer. Her mind still left in darkness and confusion, she went again to prayer a second time. As she prayed a third time, "In an instant light broke in upon my soul," wrote Mary. "Jesus stood before me and spoke these blessed words, 'I am thy salvation.'" She immediately knew Jesus was with her and had spoken to her. She knew that her soul was saved and her burden of sin removed. She arose from prayer in praise and wonder. She had not seen Christ with her eyes, but she was sure that the Lord had communed with her soul. Mary later wrote that from that evening when she met Jesus, through the rest of her life, Jesus blessed me, chastened, upheld, and comforted me, and even down to old age has he carried me. That next morning, Mary told her husband what had happened. Thomas could neither understand nor believe what had occurred. From then on, Mary began a pilgrimage with God that her husband would not share for most of their life together.